Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your models will practically build themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Today, well, I've got another tutorial for you. It's getting to be Christmas time. As you can see, I've donned my gay apparel, and I am going to be working on the Polar Express layout that I have. But I'm going to make some modules today. Some modules that if I want to display them separately, I can. Or if I want to put them on the Polar Express, which is what I'm going to do, then I can do that. But these are small little vignettes, and I would like to teach you how I do snow techniques and snow scenes. So it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to do, and it would be a lot of fun if you wanted to do a Christmas village of your own, or if you just want to add to your train layout. If you're into wargaming and miniatures, this is also a great tutorial on how to model snow for that. So stick with us today, and Mad Dog Merv is going to show you how we model snow.
Here in part one, we're primarily going to work with making the snow, so using flex paste, the soft flake snow from Woodland Scenics, some just white PVA glue, Elmer's glue, whatever you want to call it. These Woodland Scenics figures having a snowball fight, and some white beadboard.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about figuring out what it is you're going to do. For me, it was easy. Everything I have here, railroad-wise, is in HO scale, so that's the scale I'm going to go with. I do a lot of automotive stuff in 1/25th scale, and I do a lot of military stuff in 1/35th scale. There's a lot of things available, so 1/25th scale actually is really close to what you would have with LGB, the garden railroads. So there are things available for LGB or garden railroad that you could do some really cool Christmas things with. O scale railroad comes out to about 1/48th scale, and that's great and all, but there's just not a lot of stuff in 1/48th scale for Christmas. So, give you some idea, you just kind of got to pick and see what it is you really want. A lot of those villages that are out there are in a little bit larger scale, which is fine. It's just a little bit more difficult to actually model, and a lot of those are, say, porcelain or resin that you just buy them and put them up, which is again is fine. But I like building my stuff. So today, what I thought we would do first is we're going to do a little scene, and we have these kids doing a snowball fight, and that's going to work out really well on the Polar Express layout. So I'm going to take my my beadboard here, and I don't need it perfectly square, I really don't, but I am going to square off roughly what I want there. Let's see, how big should we make this? They're having a snowball fight, so maybe we'll make it about yay big. You can measure, you can guess, you can do whatever you want. It's your it's your layout, it's your modeling world. So I've got my foam cutter. You can cut it with a knife if you want. Beadboard, of course, goes everywhere, but I am just going to use this here and press the button, and there we go. Having some issues. My problem is my power strip is over there, which means the cord has to drag across everything that's on the table, which wasn't very good engineering on my part, to say the least. Okay, so after I get the square that I want, I want to bevel these edges. And so to do that, there's a couple of different ways I can do it, but I am just going to do it this way. I am going to do it this way. Going to hold it on an angle. You see I've got a piece off like that, and it bevels this down like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this, and we'll be right back. Okay, so here's the stuff I've gotten rid of, and you can see what I'm trying to simulate here is just a little bit of a hill. Just a little bit of a hill that's going to be on this layout. So there it is. Kind of rounded things off. Now the next step is I have to take these figures out and see where exactly I want to place them. Okay, so I've taken a little white glue and I've just proportioned where I kind of think I want them. They're not glued down, they're just holding there. If I bump this, they're going to go everywhere. But I did take a couple of my rocks that I make, you know, the Woodland Scenics rocks. I've got a bunch of smaller ones to choose from, and I've chosen these two here. And I've got a couple of little trees, because I've got trees all over my layout. And I can put more if I would like. We'll see how it looks symmetrically and how I feel about it. So now I kind of know where I want these things. I kind of have a visual of it. I'm going to take a picture so I can refer to this, and then I'm going to start putting on my snow, which is my built-up snow, which is called Flex Paste by Woodland Scenics. So that's going to be our next step. For the next step, I'm just going to take some good old white PVA glue, and I'm going to go ahead. I could use my Gorilla Glue, but I'm not going to on this. And I'm going to put down the position of my rocks, where I want my rocks. I need to make sure that they're completely flat on the back so that they sit right. That's a nice thing about making them out of the Woodland Scenics plaster. There. Now for my trees, I'm going to take the trees off of these little bases here. And they just screw off, you know, counterclockwise. Like so. And what I'm going to do is, instead of glue them in right now, I'm going to take, I'm going to use a tan color. I could use regular dirt or whatever, but I'm going to simulate the ground underneath the, wow, must be cold out here. This paint's a little thick. Anyway, I'm going to simulate the ground underneath the tree, because grass usually doesn't go all the way up to the base of the pine tree. So, let's see, if I want to put one here, I'm going to just do a little circle. In fact, this would probably be a good template. Let's see if that works. Kind of. I moved things around a bit, so not as good as I had hoped. But that's okay. If I go a little bit wide, that's fine, because you'll see what we're going to do next with that Flex Paste. Okay, so I wanted a tree there. We wanted one up here in this area. So I'm going to do that. And then where else do I want a tree? Let's put one over here. Now I could put some static grass on here, static grass on here, or I could put some, you know, some dirt. I could sprinkle a little bit of my dirt mixture that I can't seem to find at the moment. There it is. I don't think I have a screen on there, so it's not gonna. No, I don't have anything fine enough with me. Darn it. Oh well. It was a nice thought. Anyway, yeah, I could put some, you know, dirt, whatever. I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. We'll see how it turns out. And then one more. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I want to try to make this as symmetrical as possible. Maybe we'll put 5 of them on here. I have a lot of trees on that Polar Express board. Okay. And then let's go with one right here. Trying to follow the principles of a diorama, you know, not have, since I got a square base, I'm not trying to have the action kind of be on an angle, and trying to put something around so that it fills in the little diorama. And if you haven't seen my video on how to make dioramas, the basics, check it out. Did it probably a couple years ago, and it should be on this playlist, this how-to playlist. How to get paint all over your lips. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not going to glue the trees in yet. I'm not going to put the trees in yet, but I am going to get out the flex paste. Make sure my brush is cleaned off, or I'm going to have brown snow. Not a good thing to have. Brown or yellow snow, it's never a good thing. And I'm going to use this to build up the snow drifts. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this around the base of the rock, because, you know, the rock's going to be warmer. It's not going to have snow on it unless it just barely snowed. Okay. So I'm going to put this around the base of the rock to begin with, to simulate the snow that's bunched up. And see, I got a little bit of paint on there, so I have to go back over that. And this is Woodland Scenics Flex Paste. There's other things you could use, but honestly, this stuff works really, really well. I mean, it's ready to go right out of the jar here. It's just a matter of sculpting it to look like a nice snow, you know, snow drift or snow buildup. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint this on the entire thing here. So I got to clean the brush up first. We'll be right back. Is around where the trees would be, I've built up kind of a little ridge, if you will, because the snow would fall on the tree and it would fall off the tree and it would be a little bit thicker around the base of the tree there. So now I have put a bunch, just slathered a bunch on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger, and I find, you know, you can use something else. I use my finger because I find I can get better control like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooth out all of the areas except for right around the tree that I still want it to be thick. And if I want drifts or whatever, I can add those in here, but I want this as smooth as possible. And you could take a popsicle stick. I mean, there's a bunch of ways you could do this, but this is just how I do it. So again, I want the thicker area to be around the base of the tree, and I can fill in the little valleys and gaps and different things on the bead board, on the styrofoam, with this stuff. So it's very, you know, it's very nice to be able to use this. There comes a point in time where I'm going to run out of room, and we'll see how I deal with that. But for now, okay, we're just going to try and get it as smooth as possible. And I do want to cover all of my bead board. That's just the way I roll on this stuff. Now up top, I don't want it to be quite so smooth because the kids have built a snowman, they've built a little snow fort, and they've been playing. So up top, I want this to be looking like somebody's been up there having a snowball fight. Got a little foreign piece of debris in there. So I kind of got the sides the way I want them. Okay, now I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to work on the top. This is why I have a whole roll of paper towels in here. I can just grab what I need when I need to grab it. Okay. And we'll clean that off. Hello, Rocket. So we have a Rocket in here with us. And then I am going to just kind of stipple this around up top here. Again, I want to make it look like the kids have been playing pretty hard. Especially in the areas where the kids have been. So I don't want it to be smooth at all. I want it to be all rough. Okay. And I think I'm happy with it like that. So we'll come back when it's dry and we'll look at it then and we'll continue. Okay, so it's dry, but here's the problem. I went ahead and did the snowball fight, and I recorded it, but there was a problem with the video. So that's okay, because there's this other module that I'm doing, which is a Nativity Module. Same exact technique. So I'm going to take, I've got just a little bit of water in here, and I'm going to add some PVA, white glue. Quite a bit, actually. I'm just trying to water down the glue a little bit so that it's not quite so clumpy. And now I'm just going to paint this on to just the white part, just the flex paste. I don't want to get it on my earthen areas. There's, other ways that I could, do this snow. This is just the way that I like to do it. So if you find a way that works better for you, great. But this is how I do it. It's fairly quick and easy. Keep in mind you can put multiple layers of the flex paste on if you want to build up, more snow in certain areas. There's nothing that says you can't do that. Bigger snow drifts or whatever. So it's up to you how you want that base to look. Again, you want that to be your base. You want it to look good. You want it to be the right shape of what it is you're doing. And now we are going to, let's see, make sure we have it where we want it. Yep, I think we got everything covered. Okay. Now we've got everything covered. I'm going to need to rinse my, or I'm going to wind up with a glued brush. And we're going to take the Soft Flake Snow by Woodland Scenics. Good stuff. And we're going to sprinkle that on. you know, I'm not trying to make big buildups of it. I could if I wanted. I'm just trying to cover this whole thing with it. Yes, you could use baking soda. Baking soda is awfully fine, I got to tell you. It just doesn't have the right look, I don't think. And it does tend to yellow after time, is what I've heard. Now, I've never used it and had it for years and years and years, so I couldn't tell you. But some people have, and they say, yeah, after years and years and years, it yellows. So we're going to take some of our snow here, so we don't waste all of it. And now I'm going to let this rest. I'm going to let it soak in. If I want to add more snow, I could use a spoon or, you know, fork or, you know, anything that a fork really that I could put. Like, I'm going to use this. Okay, I'm just going to use this, and I could put some more up against the rock here to simulate more of a, you know, more of a buildup. Now, that's not necessarily going to settle in. So what I would need to do is I would need to take some of my glue here. I would need to, this is my, this is like 90% isopropyl alcohol, but you can use a dish soap and water mixture. That works too. I just have lots of alcohol around here, so no, isopropyl, that is. So I'm going to spray this down, and I'm just going to put a little bit more. Let's see. I'm going to put a little in there. I'm going to put just a little more water. Sorry. I'm using my jug here. Not a lot more. Just a little more water into my glue mixture. Okay. And now I'm going to mix that up really good. Really good, really good, really good, really good. And to make it wetter, of course, I'm going to add some more alcohol. So, let's see how that is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that right on that snow that I built up. And the reason being is that's going to soak in, and that's going to bond it really, really well. So there. And that's how we do that. Now, yeah, you could wait until it's dry. You could, but I'm not going to. So there. Okay.
Well, here's our finished product. I've got the trees glued in place, and I've got the figures there. I just put a little bit of super glue on their feet and put them into place there, and it worked out really good. Here you got the one side. They got their snowballs all there behind the snowman, and two of them are getting ready to toss them across to the other guys. You can see how the snow's built up around the rock. And you got these guys here. One of them's actually slipped and fallen down on their butt, and they've got that berm built of big snowballs. So, hey, hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.